Is Mike Tyson right about legacy?
We must face the moment of truth, baby.
Let's get into it here at 180 Truth. Welcome back to 180 Truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Iron Mike Tyson. I saw this clip on TikTok, had to drop some thoughts. I want to get your thoughts about legacy. I'm your brother minister, Honorio Chaparro. Please hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and prepare to leave a comment because I want to hear from you. Is Iron Mike's philosophy on legacy spot on? Mike Tyson is getting ready to face off against Jake Paul in a fight. Maybe by now, the time you watch this video, it's already happened. I'm looking forward to it. I grew up Mike Tyson. I think this is a kind of an interesting generational thing that's going to happen because I get to look back and see where Mike is. And listen, my kids all know Jake Paul, my youngest kid. So it's crazy, this intergenerational thing that's happening, this legacy thing that's happening, or it might be, but it depends on what you define, how you define legacy. And that's what I want to talk about. How do you define the word legacy? What you leave behind, what others will remember you for. That's the way that I define it. Maybe Mike Tyson defines it differently. Let's listen to this interview with this young reporter, and Mike Tyson keeps it 100 on his philosophy on legacy. Listen, I want to make it clear. I'm not here to judge Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson. He's a hero, a legend for me in the world of boxing. I know a lot of people say that's horrible. He's a criminal. He's done all these other things, criminal record. As far as I know, he paid his time. I guess the reality of it is that you grow up watching his story. There's so much about it that resonates with me, with a lot of us born and raised, especially born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm from Flatbush, Bed-Stuy, do or die. That's where he was from. Now it's all gentrified and changed, but I'm not here to judge him. I just want to reflect on this perspective he has, because the reality of it is, I've heard also in another interview, he never got over the accidental death of his 4-year-old. And that's a horrible thing to experience and go through. And here he is being interviewed by a young lady, a young reporter. I am Jazzy's World TV on TikTok. And so she asks him some interesting questions, and I just want to reflect on it really quickly and just share with you my take. And just, listen, I think it's important for us, each of us, men, women, to consider how we perceive legacy, because ultimately that needs to be what defines why we do what we do. One of the major reasons about why we do what we do.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego.
Wow.
Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds.
He's not entirely wrong. The good things can be abused. And as a Christian, we also believe that idolatry is often making a good thing an absolute. So you're so focused on legacy, you never live in the present. You're so focused on legacy that it becomes where, okay, how am I going to be remembered? And you're at, well, who do you want to remember you? Let's say, for instance, like preachers, do you want the congregation to remember you well, or do you want your family to remember you well? Because there have been some preachers that have died and their families have to lie about the kind of person that they were to them. Whereas the congregation may think, oh, they're fine and dandy people. They were loving and they were fantastic. But the family knows how broken and all the unresolved issues that were there. So legacy can be a cover-up. Legacy is also, listen, I'm not a Buddhist, but I appreciate the reality that so often the idea of ego can be an illusion. And maybe that's one of the things that Iron Mike is alluding to. He's been on quite a spiritual journey all of his life. And again, the passing of a 4-year-old, that I don't, again, for us as men, it can make us feel impotent, can make us feel desperate, we can despair. And I'm not saying he's in that place, but I will say that again, he's a reader. He's a reader of history. He's a lover of history. He's a smart guy. Again, some of you may disagree, but the reality is, what I've seen of him, he's very smart. I loved his story when he did that special. All that said, legacy ego can also be an illusion, the illusion of the self. There are some religions that do propose that the idea of the self is an illusion. And for an atheist, what he's about to say may also be true, but here's the question. Do you want to kick it this way to a young lady, 12, 13 years old, there on the mic, making a name for herself?
It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great,
He ain't wrong again. Even for many of us Christians, we know we don't take nothing with us into the grave, nothing of material value, but we do. Jesus tells us to store up treasure in heaven, to practice righteousness here. Again, even other religions will talk about you reap what you sow, the idea of karma, but also the idea of legacy. Let's continue.
No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody? Do you think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone?
That is heartbreaking. That he thinks his present children aren't going to remember him and think about him. That you and I won't think about him. I think about my parents who have passed. My mother passed this year, 2024. Their legacy is with me. That's just it, right? Like, it's about the future. He's staring the future in the face in this young lady. And this will be potentially his legacy to her.
Well, my kids, maybe, or grandkids.
My kids, maybe, my grandkids.
And again, thank you so much for sharing that.
Wow. Wow, family. Let's talk about it.
Now you know the truth.
What I would say to Iron Mike is, why are you even fighting Jake Paul? Why do you bother getting to that condition? Is it just simply trying to cope with life so that you don't delete it yourself, so that you don't enter into self-deletion? You coping with depression? Or is it about money, that you want to rack up the funds to pay the bills, to have the lifestyle, to take care of your pigeons, to pass it on to your kids? That's also legacy. I think Mike is reflective of where Western society is, human society is. We get so prosperous, we get so filled with stuff, we lose the reason and meaning of life. Life is at least three things. Life is first a trust. You've been entrusted with life, and God has given you this life. You have the gift of life, and what you do with that trust is your gift back to God, your family, your heritage, your ancestors, however you want to take it. It's a gift back. Life is also a test. You will be tested in life. Life will either grind you up or grind you down, and that all reveals what you are made of. Life is that kind of a grindstone. It is a test. You will be tested. You will either be purified or you will be muddied and made filthy. You will either be polished, you will be refined, or you will be destroyed. And then life is a temporary assignment. And so for Mike, for you and I, for all of us, no. We will leave a legacy one way or the other. People will think about us. And I'm going to leave you with this. No matter what religion you're in, imagine if Gautama Buddha thought about that way, the way Mike is thinking about it. Remember, what about Sun Tzu? What about Lao Tzu? What about all the kings and the queens that have been? What about everyone that has fought for a better future for tomorrow? If legacy is nothing, if legacy is just about ego, then everything that we do is in vain. Nothing that we do is worth it. But the truth of it is, just like that old movie Gladiator, Mike is a warrior. Mike is a gladiator. What we do in this life echoes in eternity. And the best thing you and I can do is to remember also the words of, I think it was Socrates, that an unexamined life is not worth living. We have to examine the condition of our hearts and our life, our sense of the future. And remember, family, remember that we are going to leave a legacy. The question is, will it be an aroma or will it be an odor? God bless.